Hi, Lou. What do you like about Kareem, and do you view him more as an outside linebacker or a defensive end?
Yeah, I think another guy that brings us some flexibility. He did both at Notre Dame, so I see him, as a DE to start. Where when we're in our sub defense, he's out there, securing the edges. At this point in the draft, when you get a guy that's as big and as tall and as long as this guy's an 84-inch wingspan. Had 13 somewhat sacks in his career. Was a captain in Notre Dame last year. You're talking about some and has pass rush ability again in the fifth round. I think those are traits that we like.
Seems like everybody you're drafting has been a team captain with severe intelligence. I mean, it's building a heck of a culture. It seems like.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, those guys. Anytime you got leaders, that were leaders in college, certainly that lends itself to being a better leader in the pros. So, and at a place like Notre Dame, which is obviously is what it is. So we're very excited about it.
Lou, y'all went with Khalid over Alton Robinson, who y'all had at the Senior Bowl. What did y'all like, in Khalid maybe more than other defensive ends?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just think when you're talking about how the length that the kid has, 34 and 3/8 arms, 84 wingspan, that's rare. And that can come into play a lot of ways, separation from O-linemen and knocking balls down at the line of scrimmage and, just his overall play and the makeup of the guy. We just, we liked some of those other guys as well, but we just put this guy, a little bit above.
He couldn't play in the Senior Bowl because of the injury. Did he come down and do interviews or anything?
Well, we got a chance to do see all these whatever these are called, Zoom meetings. We Zoomed with everybody, so we got a chance to get around them and visit them through this way. So we felt good about that communication and how we did there. So it was all good. Nick Eason got around them some as well.
Coach, your scheme last year was was kind of a blend, like a hybrid type scheme. Are you drafting personnel for a scheme that you have in mind? Do you have your scheme in mind and drafting personnel fixed? I mean, how are you handling that aspect? Because you were pretty diverse, pretty versatile last year. Is that what you're looking for? So much position versatility, so you can have that type of thing?
Yeah, I think the less we can be pigeonholed into one thing will be better. Now, certainly we're not, an outlier when it comes to, hey, we got some 3-4 guys that can do certain things, and but as I always go back to, 70% of the time you're going to be in some kind of nickel defense with 4-down structures, and you want to be able to again keep it multiple. So this guy kind of lends to that as well.
You can do different things without necessarily having to substitute personnel then.
Try to, yeah, if we can. We'll see how it all plays out. You don't know, but I think it goes back to you look for traits at this point in the draft, traits that you can develop. And I don't care how long we stay out on the practice field, you can't coach length and size and speed. So that's what we liked.
How fast was he, or is he?
He ran 4.8, 4.85, I believe. 4.85.
Lou, you've got 5 free agents that could start. Logan Wilson was drafted. Now this player from Notre Dame. Can you talk about how the talent on defense has just been transformed?
Well, it was over the last few years, obviously got here late last year, but as I've said since I've gotten here, this has been a proud place when it comes to defense, for a long, long time, and it hasn't been that way the last few years. And, some of the players getting older and, for whatever the reasons. But part of it is our job is to evaluate and get younger bodies in here that can compete for spots, and, who ends up starting and all that will play itself out. But our jobs is to get a pool to create competition, and then the best guys will bubble up and play, and we're doing that with both free agency and the draft.
load management's such a big term now. You mentioned you get some guys that are getting a little longer in the tooth. I guess, handling snaps is always an issue as guys get to the end of their career. Some of these people you signed in free agency and drafting this kid, would that help in that regard?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I don't have any doubt that this guy will take snaps off of guys, and especially early in the season when it's hot, where your guys are, you don't want them out there for 50 and 60 plays. Now you get a much better player if everybody's in the 30s and 40s as opposed to one guy in the 60s and 70s. So that's the goal.